Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am Alison. I write as Alison May, Juliet Bell, 50% of Juliet Bell, and most recently as Ali Sinclair. And here on YouTube I talk about writing, publishing and all things related. So if that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notifications, comment on videos if there's stuff you like, let me know if there's stuff you want to see more of. All of that stuff, subscribing and commenting really helps YouTube content creators. So please do all of those things if this sort of jazz is of interest to you. And today, in the spirit of January and Happy New Year and new beginnings, we are talking about resolutions. Some of you will love a New Year's resolution, some of you will really hate them. I made a video this time last year that was a sort of deep dive into how to make writing resolutions that you might find helpful, that you might stick to. I will put a link to that in the comments below. But within that video I also made some of my own resolutions. So we're going to start off by having a little review of how that went after I've coughed to clear my throat. We might be all good, we might not, we'll find out. So we're going to start off with a little review of how last year's resolutions went, and then we're going to move on and think about 2024. But first, back through the mists of time, let's have a look at what past Alison had in mind. My goals this year, which encompass writing and other things, essentially break down into three sections. So my writing dream, which isn't necessarily just for 1 year, but my writing dream is to make the majority of my income from writing. So that's my number one dream in writing terms. But then I have some other things that sit alongside that. My number two thing, which is a personal goal, and this is more time limited in a way, is to say that by this time next year, I want to be in better health than I am now. And the third goal that I want to really focus on this year is that I want to continue helping developing authors. So I had three main goals last year. The first was to try to make the majority of my income from writing. I mean, I hear that this is possible, and it may well still be on my list for this year, but yeah, no, haven't done that. Having said that, I did have 2 books out. The way that the publishing industry works, you don't necessarily see income from books till a few months after they're out. The most recent one came out in August, and it was a Christmas book, the Christmas season, which there isn't a copy of just there, so I won't hold it up and show you, but you know, it looks like this. The Christmas season, that came out in August, but obviously it's a Christmas book, the bulk of the sales were kind of late October, November into December, so I haven't seen income from that yet, even though the book has been out a while. The bulk of its sales period is just too recent, so I haven't seen any money from it as yet. So there's always a bit of a lag on authorial income, and that's still something I'm kind of working towards. More books out, better promotion, better general commercialiness, which isn't really my bag. I'm more just a sort of sitting, whittling, chatting person. But yeah, didn't make the majority of my income from writing last year, but it's a work in progress. The second thing was to, in so much as I was in control of it, try and improve my health so that, I'm just going to move my camera down a bit, so that I would be kind of in a better position to write and push in career terms in the ways that I wanted. So this time last year, I was about 6 months out from having had COVID, and I was still really fatigued, really short of breath, really struggling. That probably lasted until about April last year. So from June 2022 through to kind of April 2023, I had quite noticeable kind of long COVID symptoms. Started to recover from that properly kind of mid-late April into May, and then in June last year, so pretty much 12 months on from the first time I got COVID again! Yay! The good news was that I recovered from it much quicker the second time. I don't know if that was just luck, if it was because I'd been vaccinated more times by then, obviously, whether having had it once improved my immunity, who knows. But I did recover much, much better. I then got flu right at the back end of the year, the week before Christmas. But again, I've recovered from that pretty well. I'd say I was like 90% better, and I'm only kind of 2 weeks out from having had it. So, yay, those things are good. In between all that, in April last year, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which was a bit of a health, but that kind of gave me an additional push to do all the things I'd been kind of planning in terms of trying, in so much as I can control it, to improve my health, improve my diet, building some more kind of gentle exercise as much as the long COVID at that point in time allowed, all of that stuff. And in October this year, I officially got that diabetes into remission, so yay. So I think on the health improvement front, we're a kind of 75% yay achieved. Definitely exercising more. My diet is definitely better. I mean, not the last 2 weeks, it was Christmas. My diet has been awful. I'm mostly cheese at the moment. But aside from that, generally, diet has been better. Definitely recovered from COVID a lot better this time. So don't know if that suggests that changes of my diet have improved my immune system a bit. Who knows? Might just be good luck, but we will take it. So on that goal of trying to kind of get a better handle on my health, the elements of my health that I can control, I think we'll give a qualified yay. Third goal was to continue to help new and developing authors, mostly just because I really love doing it, but secondly, ethically, because I think the publishing industry can be quite exclusionary, particularly if you're on a lower income, if you're not someone who has kind of worked in publishing, had family in publishing, been around that world. It can be very kind of opaque and hard to get your head round. So I've continued this channel in so much as I can manage it. I'm posting sort of, I aim for every 2 weeks, sometimes it's every 3 weeks, but that's sort of ballpark, so put out kind of free information, which is good. We also started, along with my colleagues Janet Glover and Jeevani Charaka, started in the summer this year, the Debut Author Club, which is a subscription club for newly contracted, newly agented, or kind of nearly there authors, where we try and demystify some of the publishing industry stuff that you have to deal with at that career stage. So that's been great. I've also been looking at kind of what else I can offer at a slightly lower cost point, because obviously things like residential courses that I do quite a bit are expensive, and lots of people just can't access that at the moment. So 2 things that are coming up in the first half of 2024 that kind of build on this goal from last year are that for the next month or so, so from now until the 2nd of February, I'm going to be offering some pay what you can book doctor appointments. So there's a online one-to-ones where I can help you. We can either discuss a work in progress, we can discuss an idea, we can discuss the submission process if you're at that stage, we can talk about a career quandary, and I'm offering those on a pay what you can basis. Limited number of appointments because obviously my time is limited and I got bills to pay too, but I'll put a link to those in the comments. I'll put a link to everything I've mentioned in the video description below. And I've also got a 1-day course coming up in April, because it's a 1 day rather than overnight. It's slightly lower cost, but it's going to be lots of workshops along with Janet Glover, internationally award-winning author Janet Glover, as I'm supposed to call her now, because she is. She's very impressive. And that's coming up in April in London, and again I'll put a link to that down below if you're interested in any of those things. Just follow those links, go to the Fiction Tutors website and check that out. So that's kind of my review of where I am on last year's resolutions. I'd say sort of 2 out of 3 haven't gone badly at all, and the making income is a work in progress. So what about this year? I think this year I'm going to be a little bit sort of less career focused, less ambition focused, and more kind of quality of life focused. So my first resolution for 2024 is that I'm going to let go of comparisons, and I'm going to kind of let go of ambition around things I can't control. So I would love to have a movie deal. I would love to have tube posters. I'm a bit obsessed with tube posters and railway station posters for my books. All of that stuff would be lovely. But I don't get to decide that unless I self-publish and throw a huge amount of budget at it, which I can't afford to do, so it ain't going to happen. I can't control those things. So for me, what I can control is what I write, how much I write, when I write. That I write stuff I'm loving in the hope that readers will love it too, in the hope that it'll hit the right editor and they'll love it too. So I'm going to let go of some of that. Oh, my goal is to have tube posters, because I can't control that. And I'm going to let go of some of that. Oh, she was on a panel at such and such, and oh, look at all the promotion her book's getting. You know, it's out of our control. All of us as authors would love to be a lead title, and all of us authors have phases in our career where we're deeply jealous of whoever is the lead title, and I'm just going to let that go. It is kind of not my business. It is kind of not my problem. I'm going to be joyful for the people for whom good things happen, sympathetic for the people who it doesn't quite come together for, but sort of accept that that kind of isn't on my plate. What is on my plate is the writing. So my second resolution for 2024 is that I'm going to write a lot. I kind of have to. This is secret, so don't tell anyone I told you. But it's looking likely that I'm going to be contractually obliged to write 3 books over the next 18 months, just short of 18 months. So that is a big hunk of writing on my plate. I've got my How to Write a Novel book that's been ongoing for ages that I have booked in a copy edit and proofread for in April this year. So I have to have finished the draft of that by then. So that will be 4 books in the next 18 months. And I would really, really like to write at least one other thing as well. I have a story idea that is outside of the books I've already kind of discussed with my editor that is just sort of really exciting me. I'd really love to squeeze that in too. So my second goal is just to write lots. 5 books in the next 18 months is my peak wish list. That might not be possible. 4.5 I will take. But yeah. Write lots. So those are my resolutions: to let go of comparison, to let go of the kind of ambition and the envy around things I can't control, and to just write a lot and try to enjoy it. Those are my ambitions, not ambitions, those are my not ambitions, my anti-ambitions for 2024. I'd love to hear what yours are. Share those in the comments below. If there's anything you would like videos on this year, please let me know. Anything writing, publishing, writing career related, I'm happy to lift the lid on all of that. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time. For now, farewell.